Clark here at Killer Fun. I'm back again with another Killer Sudoku related video. But this time I'm demonstrating something I do too often on harder puzzles. Stepping over a dollar to pick up a dime, reinventing the wheel, letting my biases cloud my judgment, not seeing the forest for the trees. You pick. It may be one of these. I've been banging my head on puzzle 1885 at dailykillersudoku.com and found myself doing a bunch of work to come up with candidates that were staring me in the face. Before you get too eager to try this puzzle, do note that the difficulty 2 rating is not quite accurate. It has been abandoned close to 80% of the time and has just under an hour average solve time. It is possibly the most underrated puzzle on Daily Killer Sudoku by difficulty. In an attempt to be more efficient when solving, and maybe less like a computer solver, I try not to fill in cells with all the candidates or any that don't help progress the solve. Any number other than the actual correct value that is entered into a cell has to be removed before the puzzle is solved. If you look at column 3, we know 4 of the values in this column. The easy way to know the possible candidates in the remaining cells of that column is to just use the other 5 digits, 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7. My hesitancy to enter extra numbers got in the way, and I did it the hard way. In this 3-cell L-shaped cage in box 7, the only remaining candidates in the 2 cells in column 3 are these same 5 digits. While this might not always be the case, this time it is. I should have seen it, as there are 8 possible sums for this cage. Let me explain where I obtained this number of possible sums. If you look at the greater than symbol between the 15 cage and our cage, this sets the maximum sum at 14. The minimum value is 6, the minimum sum for any 3-cell cage. 6 to 14 is 8. Given the 8 possible sums, the 3 existing candidates, 3, 4, 8, in row 8, column 2, it is very unlikely that any additional limitations will arise. There are just too many combinations and candidates not to fill out those remaining digits in the row. Possible? Probably, but very unlikely. I went ahead anyway and wasted a bunch of time that I hope to save you in the future, and maybe learn a lesson myself. That lesson? Don't let your biases lead you to go the hard route when evidence points to the easiest solution being correct. Since I did all that extra work to grind through the 8 possible sums and adding any candidates of those possible combinations to these cells, I will add a clip to the end of this video demonstrating that logic. Stick around if you'd like to see that process. Otherwise, I hope you take my lesson to heart and don't waste time in the future. Thanks for watching. I would love it if you would leave a constructive or positive comment down below. Liking and subscribing would also help me out and get you more killer fun in your feed. Until next time, keep solving. Now, the unnecessary logic. First, let's go through in detail the number of possible sums for this 3-cell L cage. We know that the maximum sum for a 3-cell cage is 24, 7, 8, and 9. Let's look at that in the calculator. We also know that the minimum sum is 6. 1, 2, and 3, also shown here in the calculator. The only possible sums for a 3-cell cage are 6 through 24. However, because this is a greater than Sudoku, We can further limit that by any possible inequalities that are related to this cage. There are 4. This equals, but we do not know the sum of this 2-cell cage in column 1. This less than inequality, but again, we do not know the sum of this 3-cell L cage in box 8. This greater than symbol, again, we don't know the sum of this 3-cell L cage in box 4. And finally, this greater than inequality symbol, where we do know the sum of this 2-cell cage in column 2, knowing that the sum of this 2-cell cage is 15, and that it must be greater than the sum of this 3-cell L cage in box 7. We know that the maximum sum of this 3-cell L cage is 14. So the possible sums are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 8 possible sums. Let's start with the smallest sum, a 3-cell 6 sum. With this 2-7 pair in column 2 and this 2 in column 3, it is not possible for a 2 to exist in this 3-cell L cage. Therefore, 1, 2, 3 is not a possible combination. Let's try a 3-cell 7 cage. The only possible combination is 1, 2, 4. Again, with a 2, this is not a possible combination. A 3-cell 8 cage, the 1, 2, 5 can be eliminated as it contains a 2. And the possible combination remaining is a 1, 3, 4. With the 3, 4 in row 8, column 2, there is no limitation. Therefore, this can be a 1, 3, or 4, except for the 3 that already exists in column 3. Therefore, we can add a 1, 4 pair to the 2 cells that exist in column 3 of this 3-cell L cage. Let's try a 3-cell 9 cage. We can eliminate both possibilities with 2s, and a 1, 3, 5 would leave us with a 1, 5 in the 2 cells in column 3 of the 3-cell L cage. Let's try a 3-cell 10 cage. Again, we can eliminate any possibilities with 2s. 1, 3, 6, with the 3 here, we can place a 1, 6 pair in the 2 cells in column 3. I'll add a 6. And 1, 5, we could add if it was not already there. Since it's already there, there's no need to add it, as this 4 in row 8, column 2 would force a 1, 5 pair into column 3. Let's look at the 3-cell 11 cage. Eliminating any combinations with 2 leaves us with 1, 3, 7 or 4, 3, 6. With the 3 in row 8, column 2, that would force a 1, 7 pair into the 2 cells in column 3 of this 3-cell L cage. I will add a 7. Please note that we are now to the point with a 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, where we would have been if we would have just plugged in the remaining candidates in this row. What does not exist when we take away 2, 3, 9, and 8? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we will continue. There are still a few sums and several combinations to test. Let's look at 1, 4, 6. With the 4 in row 8, column 2, a 1, 6 pair would exist in column 3, and this exists from previous combinations that we've tested. Let's move to a 3-cell 12 cage. We can eliminate any combinations with the 2. 1, 3, 8 is not a possibility, as the 3, 8 up in the 2-cell 11 cage, eliminate that as a possible combination for this 3-cell L cage. 147 is a possibility with the 4 here in row 8, column 2. A 1-7 pair could exist in column 3, and it already does. 156 is not a possible combination, as none of those digits exist in row 8, column 2. 345 is a possible combination with a 4-5 pair in column 3 and a 3 in row 8, column 2. The 3 cannot exist here because of the 3 in the 2-cell 11 cage. Let's look at a 3-cell 13 sum, removing any possible combinations with a 2. 139 is not a possible combination. The 3 here would force a 1-9. This 9 prevents a 1-9 pair from being here in these 2 cells in column 3 of the 3-cell L cage. 148 is a possible combination. This 8 forces the 1-4 into these 2 cells in column 3, and we would need to use the 8 in row 8, column 2. 157 is not a possible combination, as none of those digits exist in row 8, column 2. And 346 is a possible combination if we use the 4-6 in column 3 and the 3 in row 8, column 2. And finally, let's look at the 3-cell 14 cage. 149 is not a possibility, as the 1-9 pair would need to exist in column 3, and there is already a 9 in column 3. 158 is a possible combination. If the 8 is in row 8, column 2, the 1-5 pair already exists from previous combination tests. 167 is not a possible combination, as none of those digits exists in row 8, column 2. Any combinations with 2 can be eliminated. And 347 is a possible combination. The 3 here in row 3 prevents the 3 in these 2 cells of column 3 of the 3-cell L cage, forcing the 3 into row 8, column 2, and leaving a 4-7 pair which already exists in column 3. And finally, 356 is a possible combination. If we use the 3 in row 8, column 2, and place the 5-6 in column 3, which already exists from previous combination testing. There you have it. The logic behind getting to 1, 4, 5, 6, 7 the hard way. I hope you enjoyed that logic. Thanks for watching, and come back again for more killer fun. Don't forget to keep solving.